Jake Colvin with the Global Innovation Forum, and thank you for being here this morning with us on behalf of the Global Innovation Forum and also on behalf of our co-hosts, the Berkman Center for Internet and Society at Harvard University, Intuit, QuickBooks Financing, Engine, and our host this morning, 1776. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Global Innovation Forum, it's an effort to engage entrepreneurs along with large corporations and public policymakers to explore the opportunities and challenges that they see as they engage globally in the digital age. And so one goal that we have at the Global Innovation Forum is to emphasize the fact that these days it's not just large multinational corporations that are engaging in the global marketplace and innovating across borders. It's increasingly young startups with just a few employees that have a website and a couple of interesting press hits and all of a sudden have partnerships and sales all over the world. But then the second thing is to explore how public policy can improve or impede access to the global marketplace. And today's discussion is going to center around financial services and FinTech. Now we do that by bringing together groups, different groups together who don't always talk to each other. So large corporations, university, business, startup, government communities. And I'm happy to report that there's some of each of you here today, including great representation from the diplomatic community here in DC, and so thank you all for joining us. I suspect many of you are here not because you know us, but because you know some of our co-hosts, and so I did really want to thank the Berkman Center and Mark Wu, who's the director of the Berkman Center, for his partnership. The bad news is that Mark is snowed in Boston, and so won't be able to join us here this morning. He was going to interview Congressman Polis, but happily Brandon Pollock from 1776 is going to do that instead, in addition to providing a couple of his own remarks. I also want to thank Engine, and I think Brooke Hunter is here this morning from Engine, and so I just wanted to say hi, Brooke. Thank you, Brooke, and thank you to Engine for joining us. As many of you probably know, they have a larger presence on the East Coast now, and so we look forward to seeing them in DC more often. And they just got through a really successful launch of the Diversity Caucus up on the Hill, which was great on Monday. And also want to thank Intuit for their partnership and financial support for this event. Format today is that in a minute I'm going to turn it over to Brandon Pollock and Congressman Polis. Hopefully Congressman Polis will have arrived by the time I get done here. And then following Congressman Polis's conversation, we're going to have a discussion among the panelists. This is on the record. It's being filmed back there, and so anything that you say will be captured forever. Please be respectful. This is a workspace, and so as you leave here this morning, just try not to make a bunch of noises as you're moving towards the elevators. One piece of maybe annoying news is the bathrooms are broken up here, and so you have to go take the elevator to the 8th floor if you have to use the restroom. With that, I'm going to turn around and see if Brandon's somewhere back there, either by himself or with... You're over there, okay. Well, let me turn it over to Brandon, and just, Brandon, thank you very much for hosting us and really appreciate your partnership.
Thanks, Jake. Thank you all for coming here this morning. I'm Brandon Pollock. I'm part of the founding team of 1776 and the director of global affairs. For those of you who are not familiar and who haven't been here before, so we're a global startup incubator and seed fund that's based here in DC. And really we focus on providing the resources that startups need all over the globe that are tackling major challenges in major sectors of our economy like education, energy, healthcare, transportation, and cities. So right now our team is, some of our events team is in the midst of our Global Challenge Cup, which is our pitch competition where we go to 16 cities across 11 countries. Last night we finished our event in Nairobi, and they're on to Bangalore now before we come back to Austin, Texas, and a number of other cities. So again, really what we do, while we certainly have a great space here, we have 2 floors here, we have 260 startups that are based here that we work with. It's really more about the connections, the resources they need, the programming, mentorship, access to capital, the corporate connections. We work with about 36 corporate partners across different sectors, and the media attention they need. So we really work with about 400 mentors, as I said, a number of industry partners. So I want to thank you here today. We're going to get started in a few minutes. Congressman Pola should be here shortly, so we'll get started in a minute. Thanks.